Canadians are now living under a dictatorship. And I say this as someone that has previously lived under a formal dictatorship. I even got persecuted, as I explained in this video. So why is that the case? Listen to what the Deputy Prime Minister said.
As of today, a bank or other financial service provider will be able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order. In doing so, they will be protected against civil liability for actions taken in good faith. Federal government institutions will have a new broad authority to share relevant information with banks and other financial service providers to ensure that we can all work together to put a stop to the funding of these illegal blockades. This is about following the money. This is about stopping the financing of these illegal blockades. We are today serving notice. If your truck is being used in these illegal blockades, your corporate accounts will be frozen. The insurance on your vehicle will be suspended. Send your semi-trailers home. The Canadian economy needs them to be doing legitimate work, not to be illegally making us all poorer.
Basically, they can now take the money of those truckers that have been protesting for the past couple of weeks without a court order.
Or suspend an account without a court order.
This part is extremely important. They can basically just freeze your bank account on good faith. So that's the kind of thing you would never see under a liberal democracy. And why is that so relevant? First of all, if you live in North America, either in Canada or the United States, if you haven't done so already, take your money away from these big banks, or at least have a plan B, a plan C with gold, with cryptocurrencies, and so forth. Ironically, my previous video that I had posted was exactly about that. I said, with the Great Reset, our money itself is gonna become worthless. It's part of their agenda. And guess what? Trudeau has given many hints that he is aligned with the ideas of the Great Reset.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges.
So don't wait until everyone is trying to go to their banks, taking away their money. You know, those are the moments that desperation gets in the air and you may end up losing some of it. Rather, be prepared now. It's not ludicrous, it's not a conspiracy theory, it's basically seeing what is likely to happen. Now it's the truckers. Now you may think that they have wrong ideas, you may disagree with their intentions, with their speech, but it doesn't matter, okay? The same thing could happen with dissidents in the left, with people that have completely different opinions. The point is, the government is persecuting people on the basis of their opinion. If you want to punish these truckers, do that based on the actual crimes they have committed. For example, well, if they broke a window of a bank, which I don't think it happened, then they will respond for that specific crime. Now, when you give the government and financial institutions the say to pretty much freeze any bank account they want, well, they may use that against anyone criticizing Mr. Trudeau and everyone else in the government. So that's extremely frightening, and it's the direction that China has taken for the past couple of years. Ironically, Trudeau usually criticizes people like Putin for attacking their opposition and people like Navalny. But when Trudeau is actually persecuting normal people, average workers, for their opinions, in my opinion, he's doing something even worse because he's persecuting average citizens. Putin is going after some politicians, some militants that are putting themselves in the line. They have an entire career dealing with politics. Now, these truckers, they're average people, just like myself, just like yourself. And it's a form of attacking them that is a cowardly way to do so, because they're not trying to arrest them. They're not trying to, for example, take their lives, but indirectly, that's kind of what they want. They want these truckers to not have money to pretty much feed their families, right? That's pretty bad, guys. This is something that I wouldn't do with my worst enemy. I wouldn't want him to starve to death with his entire family. And that's the mindset. The mindset is, you know what? Let's just starve them to death, or at least make them suffer a lot until they give up on their opinions. That's really, really concerning. And unfortunately, most people in Canada, even in the United States and in the West as a whole, they still think that they're living under a liberal democracy with freedom of speech, and very few people actually understand that we're actually walking towards a very, very pernicious technocratic dictatorship, and that's something that really, really gets my sleep. And by the way, some people say that Trudeau is actually the son of Fidel Castro. Now, I don't know if that's true, but if you think that's the case, make sure to subscribe and leave a like down below. Have a good one.